Well, now this, Omaha police calling him the youngest person in their city to ever be sought in a first-degree murder case. 12-year-old Jarrell Milton, accused of taking part in a drug deal that ended in murder. He's now under arrest. But what should be his fate? We're going to ask our legal panel. Whitney Boan, a criminal defense attorney, and Elliot Feelig is a former prosecutor. Thank you both for being here.
Good morning.
He's 12. Does that make a difference in your mind when they find him and get him and prosecute him or not? Whitney?
Yes, absolutely. It makes a huge difference. We're talking about a child, a 12-year-old. An adult male's brain is not fully developed until he's usually about 25 years old. We're talking pure child here, okay? So the way he's going to be treated needs to be different. It's required to be different by the U.S. Supreme Court and even by Nebraska law, because he's not going to be able to be charged with a capital crime. He's not going to be able to be sentenced to death. He's not going to be able to be even sentenced to life without the possibility of parole after Miller versus Alabama in 2012 from the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay.
This is a very different situation.
Elliot, are you buying the fact that he's 12 and doesn't know the difference between right and wrong?
Completely disagree. Firstly, one of the primary purposes of the criminal justice system as a whole is to protect society from those people who've demonstrated through their actions that they pose a threat to the community. This young man, notwithstanding his young age, having committed such a violent and horrific act, absolutely is a threat to the community. But beyond that, I don't accept for a moment this premise that a 12-year-old cannot distinguish right from wrong, or that a 12-year-old doesn't understand that actions have consequences. They most certainly can understand that. That's the reason that the vast majority of 12-year-olds will never be facing a possible murder prosecution.
Well, I want to say this,
Elliot,
this alleged crime right here, they're still trying to determine whether two brothers and which one of them played a role in killing a 30-year-old individual here. Whitney, what were you going to say?
And you need to keep in mind, like you said, we're talking about a 30-year-old individual. And I don't mean to sound insensitive, like, you know, this individual deserved to die somehow. But we're talking about what sounds like a drug deal gone bad. And Elliot, you know as well as I do that that is not the same thing as a 12-year-old going out and toting guns and just randomly shooting at people. First off, like you said, we don't even know if this 12-year-old was involved in actually shooting anybody. But what we also know is that he was there with a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, and then a 30-year-old and another companion of that 30-year-old who was an adult male involved in a drug deal. We don't know whether or not these individuals were defending themselves even.
Bottom line, what's going to happen here? What should happen, Elliot?
Look, the pain he caused is no less because he's 12. The threat he poses to his community is no less because he's 12. It goes back to protecting the community. You cannot send a message to people that if you're young enough, you can literally get away with murder.
But that's not what I'm saying either. I don't think that he should walk. I'm just saying we don't treat him the same as an adult. I mean, we're not going to sentence him to death. It's not even constitutionally possible. It's cruel and unusual punishment. And you know that.
I have no problem with there being a significant rehabilitative component to any potential sentence.
Exactly.
Well, it's a great debate. Our viewers are going to be writing in for sure. Elliot and Whitney, thank you for this and your insight. He's just 12. Gosh, I look at that face. Coming up.